For 3 years running, I pulled my onions out of the garden in late summer, brushed off the dirt, and put them straight into a basket in the pantry, proud of a genuinely good harvest. And every single year, by December, at least a third of them had gone soft, or worse, developed that awful sulfur smell that meant the whole thing had turned to mush from the inside out. This year, from a similar harvest, I lost exactly 0 onions. The difference wasn't a new container or a different variety. It was a single step I'd been skipping entirely. The onions weren't rotting because of anything I did during storage. They were rotting because of what I didn't do in the 2 weeks right after harvest. Part 1. The failure history. 3 years of rot. I want to be honest about what I tried because it might save you a genuinely frustrating winter of finding mush at the bottom of your basket. Year 1, I stored them in an open basket on the counter. Soft in 6 weeks. Year 2, I moved that open basket to a cool closet. Same loss, just a few weeks later. Year 3, I tried a sealed plastic bin, thinking it would protect them. That was my worst year, half rotted by Thanksgiving, because the trapped moisture had nowhere to escape. I genuinely thought my soil was the problem. Then I talked to my neighbor Diane, who grows a full row of onions and garlic every year and never loses a batch to rot in storage. She asked me a simple question. How long did you let them cure before storing them? I didn't cure them at all. I didn't even know that was a separate step from harvesting. Part 2, the missing link, why onions actually rot. Here's what Diane explained that finally connected my 3 different failed storage attempts to one missing cause. A freshly pulled onion or garlic bulb still has moisture sealed inside its outer layers and a soft, still green neck where the stalk meets the bulb. That moisture and that soft green neck are exactly what let rot organisms take hold once the bulb goes into any kind of enclosed storage. Curing means letting the whole plant dry out somewhere warm, dry, and well-ventilated for roughly 2 to 3 weeks before you ever trim it. During that time, the outer skin papers over and toughens, and the neck dries shut. The bulb essentially seals itself against rot organisms. That's why my previous setups failed. The onions went into storage, still carrying internal moisture and an open neck. The sealed bin was the worst because it trapped that uncured moisture with even less airflow. Part 3. The 5-step curing system. Here is the exact step-by-step method. Step 1. Timing the harvest. Wait until roughly half to 2/3 of the foliage has naturally yellowed and started to fall over on its own. Pulling too early while the plant is still green and actively growing means a less mature bulb with a higher moisture content that cures more slowly and less reliably. Step 2. Harvest gently and don't wash. Lift bulbs with a garden fork. Yanking by the stalk tears the neck, creating an open wound that invites rot. Brush off loose dirt with your hands, but never rinse them with water. Added moisture works directly against the cure you're about to start. Step 3. The cure. The step almost everyone skips. Lay the whole plants out in a single layer. Bulb, roots, and stalk all still attached, somewhere warm, dry, and out of direct sun with decent airflow. A covered porch or shed all work well. Leave them for 2 to 3 weeks. You'll know curing is complete when the outer skins feel papery and rustle slightly, and the neck has fully dried and tightened rather than staying soft and green. Step 4. Trim and sort, only after curing. Trim the roots close to the base and cut the stalk down to 1 inch or 2 above the bulb. This is also the time to toss any bulbs with soft spots or damage. They won't store well no matter how good the cure was. Step 5. Storage in something breathable. Mesh bags, loosely woven baskets, or old pantyhose knotted between bulbs all work far better than any sealed container because airflow around each cured bulb is what keeps it stable. Store somewhere cool, dry, and dark, and check every few weeks. Part 4. The timeline and the payoff. Let's talk about what to expect next. Curing takes 2 to 3 weeks, and it's a slow, quiet process. Once properly stored, onions can hold up to 8 months or more. The real test comes gradually. A properly cured bulb should still feel rock solid, with absolutely no give when squeezed gently, months into storage. The honest comparison for me is straightforward. 3 years of losing 1/3 of my harvest to rot meant effectively regrowing extra just to account for the waste. This past season, curing properly meant the harvest I pulled is the harvest I actually got to use, months later without a single loss. Diane said something to me that stuck. Most people think of harvest as the finish line, when really it's the halfway point. What happens in the 2 or 3 weeks right after pulling something out of the ground often matters more than anything that happened while it was growing. If you're pulling onions or garlic this season, give them those 2 to 3 weeks to cure properly. It makes you wonder, how many other garden failures are just one missing step away from success? Tell me in the comments if you've ever lost a harvest to rot without knowing why. Subscribe if this explainer helps, and I'll see you in the next one.